Howdy, y'all. Good afternoon. How's everyone today? Man, we got a nice purple and red sunrise coming up. Still see the crescent moon this morning. Did you see the moon yesterday? It's just a sliver of a crescent moon. I like watching the moon. So, hey Terry. I'm good. How are you? Good afternoon, Ben. How are you? Yeah, it looks like a nice sunrise. Man, our weather, it's about to really warm up. Like this weekend, we're supposed to be like 23°C, sunny. Hey, Genghis. Good afternoon. It's going to be a nice weekend. I'm about to finish this job I'm on. I have a couple more. You're a bit bored, Terry? Yeah, I get bored sometimes. I usually go to music if I'm bored. Are you a music fan, Terry? It's raining again, Genghis. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Yeah, I'll be off in a couple days. And then like another day, I think I have another job. But now I'm about to slow down. When I started working, I was like, I'm gonna be working for a while and then I'll be off. I had a few days off because of the rain. I took off one Sunday, but I've mostly been working for, I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe more, I don't know. But it's about to end and then I'll be mostly off till, I don't know, probably till January. Yeah, you don't have to water your plants again, it's all the rain. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some days off. I got cut off yesterday at the live stream. I must have gotten a bad spot and lost my signal. I couldn't get it back. Sorry about that. I was just about done. I was just going to tell y'all goodbye in yesterday's live stream. So, goodbye. Keith, you've been having trouble with your charger? I hate that. I hate that. It's so annoying. So annoying. Having trouble keeping your phone charged? So you got blue sky but cold here. It's supposed to be cloudy today, but it's not very cold. I'm watching this cat. So if your phone dies, Genghis, cheers, mate. But yes, I'm looking forward to some time off. It's hard to keep up with the YouTube. A few videos came out today. The members only have the Robert Louis Stevenson House video. It'll stay there. But I think out now, a couple of them I just released, but Pluckley came out earlier, but the Jane Austen video and the Port Marion video are out now on the regular channel. I don't know if you've had time to see those, but man, that Jane Austen video is so good. Man, that sunrise looks so good over there. Yeah, the Jane Austen video was a lot of fun for me in Port Marion. And I was like, what? Well, first of all, I was like, no, I never heard of this. You know, usually I pick my videos, but Ben picked that Port Marion one. And so I don't know anything. All I know is it's someplace in Wells. King has saved the remnants of your battery for this stream. Your charger just won't work anymore? Or did you lose your charger? But yeah, it's fun whenever I see someplace like Fort Marion that I'm just like, I don't know what it is, and then it totally surprised me. They said that show The Prisoner was filmed there. I never heard of that. Y'all fans of that show? They said it was in the 60s, so just before my time. Yeah, Terry, you saw the Jane Austen video. I'm just such a big fan of Jane Austen. It was cool to see every place, basically, that she lived. All the way from birth to death, huh? But yeah, in Bath, or Bath, as the guy said. As you say, Bath. Uh, yeah, you could go see all that stuff. They have a museum there. You can visit her house there. One of them, Chata, I think it's called Chata, something like that. But yeah, you should check it out. You should check it out, Terry. Plus, there's a lot of cool stuff there, right? The city is cool. Over on the community, I'm at 1,900 subscribers. I'm slowly clawing my way towards 2,000. The channel's been really slow in the last couple weeks. None of my videos hardly reach 1,000. I don't know. I used to reach 1,000 like almost every video. 1,000 views, but now they almost never do. I don't know if I'm picking bad videos. I'm just doing what I want. But yeah, the Pluckley video. Yeah, Genghis, when I looked for a Pluckley video, I didn't recognize any of the channels. So then I just don't know which one to pick because I do them blind. I mean, she did mention like 12 or 13 ghosts. Are there more? Probably are. I did see a couple that I could just tell from the thumbnail were going to be fakes. They were going to be like people in the woods faking stuff. I could tell just from the thumbnails. And I didn't want to do one of those. And yeah, I just have to pick one, you know what I mean? I just have to pick one. I hope it's good. But I might can do Pluckley again. To be honest, no one's really watching it. My spooky stuff doesn't do very good. It surprises me. I thought people would be more like into spooky stuff, but whenever I do a spooky video, it doesn't really do very good. So I don't know if I will go back to Pluckley again, but I'm going to do Chillingham Castle soon. And it's supposed to be haunted. And hopefully, I don't know, it probably won't do very good either. So, okay, Roger, are you calling someone a weirdo? Doesn't seem very kind. Roger, you doing the live stream to be a part of the channel? Where you at, Roger? In the UK? Oh, Kenneth, how are you? Where are you from? Let me know. But, so yeah, I don't know, slowly crawling up towards 2,000, I guess. Channel's really slowed down. A lot less views in the last, really, like 3 weeks. Hello, Kingfisher. How are you today? Where are you from? Oh yeah, Genghis. The subscribers come slowly but surely. That's for sure. Hello, Kenneth. You're from Vegas. Good to see you. I'm from Dallas. Most everyone watching is from the UK. We talk about UK stuff here in the live stream. Kim, good to see you. Kim, good morning. Or good afternoon to you. And Alex. Hello, Alex. Just saw you in the comments as well. Good to have you back on my stream. And yeah, over in the community, y'all post Christmas pics. Yeah, Kenneth, I'm not a Cowboys fan. How about them Christmas pics? That's what I want to know. Post some Christmas pics on the community. Hardly have any on there. I posted one yesterday. And also, I got Christmas reactions coming up starting Friday. And I'd love to get your suggestions. Any videos or subjects you'd like for me to react to in the UK. There's a post up on the community asking for that. You can find that post and post in the comments. Terry posted a few. But yeah, I need more Christmas stuff on the community. I posted up a few Christmas songs. You know, you copy a link from YouTube, just go to the community and paste that link into your post and show me your favorite Christmas songs. Just fill the community up with pictures and songs. I need that. Atherstone ball game. Alex, I'm not really sure what that means. Battle of Hastings might be interesting games. Yeah, I'll probably get to that. Again, history doesn't do very good on my channel for some reason. I've been just hoping to find a video that kind of blows up lately, but not happening. What's weird though, King, is it does crawl, of course, but I was at a full speed run at one point. And now I'm crawling, so I don't know why. Cheese rolling? Yeah, I probably will do that. Well, Terry, just email me it. Email me a video you'd like to react to. You're a member of the members only section, Terry. So, you know, if you're a member of the members only section, just bypass the buy me a coffee and just send me, just email it to me. The email's in my page description. I'll do it. Yeah, if you're a member, if you paid to be a member of the members only section, yeah, just bypass my buy me a coffee. Just send it right to me. I count that as a benefit of your membership. It goes for anybody who's a member, who's joined the member. Just bypass that buy me a coffee. That can be big perks. So I'm going to get to talk about the World's Fair. Aside from that, y'all have county fairs like we do? County fairs in every county? Do they have a fair like in the summer? Like rides and food and stuff like that? We do here. We have state fairs, which are big, and then we have county fairs. Yeah, the hauntings of the Tower of London. I probably am going to get to all those hauntings, the cheese rolling, Battle of Hastings. But I don't know if I'll do it anytime soon. Hunter stars, America is white. America is one of the most diverse cultures in the world. I just hit them. But to say America's all white, that is just crazy. We are a country that is a full-on mixture of every, it's so diverse here. We have every culture and every, I don't know if y'all saw that, but yeah, I got rid of that person. Oh, really? Have huge fairs? Just send some when my phone is working correctly. I would love to see that. So yeah, y'all have fairs like every summer in your area. Do you go to them? Do you like them? I'm gonna talk about the World's Fair. That's a little bit different. The State Fair of Texas is held in Dallas every year. It's pretty big. Pretty big. But what do y'all know about the World's Fair of London back in, was it 1850 something. Newmarket is the big event. The Stryd at Bolton Abbey is worth a look if you have time. What is that, Alex? The Stryd at Bolton Abbey. What is the Stryd? about the World's Fair in London in 1851? And yeah, you can keep telling me about any fairs you've ever been to. I'm interested in that. This live stream yesterday, I was just talking with my son, and he mentioned something about the World's Fair in London back in 1851. And I was like, what do you know about the World's Fair in London in 1851? And then he started telling me all kinds of stuff. He knew so much about it. I don't know why. He must have read up on it. I don't know. He likes the UK. He likes history. He started telling me stuff. I was like, what? How do you know all this? I mean, he is in college, so I guess that's why. But I don't know if he just looked it up on his own, but he was telling me all about the Crystal Palace. What do y'all know about the Crystal Palace? Anything? Does anyone know anything about the World's Fair in London in 1851? It was pretty big, apparently. So anyway, I was like, Sage, come on to the come on to the live stream and tell us all about it. But he won't. He knew all about it. I had to look up information. And then that made me think of the World's Fair that took place in St. Louis, arguably the largest in the U.S. Some say the one in New York, but so it's debatable. There's a huge attendance in St. Louis, and I lived in St. Louis for 10 years, and what's still there left from the in St. Louis, the World's Fair was in 1904, and they built a huge, you don't know much about it, Ben? Apparently the one in London was massive. And I think, was it the first World's Fair? It might have been. I think it was. It'll probably say in the information, but I think it was y'all's idea to have a World's Fair. Crystal Palace is where the Great Exhibition, that's what I'm talking about, the Great Exhibition, aka the World's Fair, was held. Unfortunately, it got destroyed by fire later. That's what I learned. Sage was talking all about the Crystal Palace being like the first metal and glass building. It's pretty much ahead of its time. He talks enough about it, I got interested. Okay, Alex, later on, man. Oh, Whippets, those are fun dogs. I love the way they look. But nice to see you for a minute. So yeah, St. Louis, I moved all around, and I've lived in Texas multiple times. And grew up in Texas, left, came back. But I've moved around so much, the longest I ever lived in one city consecutively was St. Louis for 10 years. I've lived in Dallas right now, I think 7 years straight. And before that, I was just over in Fort Worth, which is nearby. So I've been in this area, Dallas-Fort Worth, for quite a number of years, but 10 years straight in St. Louis. And, you know, when they held the World's Fair there, man, they built this massive park full of multiple museums, history museums, a science museum, cultural museums. Currently still there is a full-size golf course. When that truck go by. The St. Louis Zoo is in Fair Park, so there's still left over from the fair that they had in St. Louis is this huge park with all these St. Louis crayfish. St. Louis is not associated with crayfish. I mean, they have them there, but New Orleans is where you get, we call them crawfish, crawdaddies. You ever had crawfish, Kings? Yeah, St. Louis is not really associated with crawfish. That's New Orleans. But yeah, they built this massive park, still there, called Fair Park. Still has all the history, all the museums, the zoo. It is massive. And so they built the whole thing just for the World's Fair. The zoo in St. Louis is free, and it's one of the top zoos in the country. So that's unusual. You just walk right in, walk right out, and it's a really good zoo. That's in Fair Park. So you can imagine that park is just huge. It's so big. Left over from the World's Fair. So I was like, all right, Say, just tell me about the London World's Fair, and I know a lot about the St. Louis World's Fair, so I thought I'd talk about that, but I don't know how interesting it's going to be. But yeah, tell me about anything you like to do, any type of county fair you can go to, or actually if you enjoy fairs at all. What are your fairs like? Do they have rides? Like at our county fairs and stuff, they just come around, set up, and then leave. They have rides, but they're pretty jinky. Do we have kippers? Probably somewhere. I never run across kippers. But yeah, you can eat the fish sole. You can get that certain places. I've never really seen kippers though anywhere, but probably could hunt some down. There are some. There is. Genghis, I know that you have like a Finnish connection, right? Finland? I know that there is a Scandinavian market that I've never been to. Not far from here. They might have kippers. I don't know. So I'm just gonna, I don't know. Let me give you some information about the fair in London. It was called the Great Exhibition, like Genghis said. It took place in 1851, was held in London, attracted over 6 million visitors. It showcased new technological art and artifacts, becoming a precursor to the modern World's Fair. So it was the first one. I thought so. It was y'all's idea to have these World's Fairs. You know, they still continue. I think the next one is in Kyoto, Japan. And it was y'all's idea. Y'all started it back in 1851. You called it the Great Exhibition, but it became known to be the World's Fair that started being held in all kinds of places. So good on you. Started that. It says the Crystal Palace, an architectural wonder, housed exhibits and was a marvel of its time. Yeah, that's when you had the Empire. It says, a stunning display of inventions, works of art, and objects collected in distant lands was something of a precursor to the World's Fair. In fact, some newspapers referred to it as such even then. And it had a definite purpose. The rulers of Britain intended to show the world that technology was bringing uplifting changes to society and that Britain was leading the race into the future. That was the point, huh? Here's kind of an etching of the Crystal Palace in Hyde Park. I don't know if you can see it. I'd never seen it. That's huge, huh? So the idea started with a guy named Henry Cole. He was an artist and an inventor, but the man who ensured the event happened in spectacular fashion was Prince Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria. Albert recognized the value of organizing a massive trade show that would place Britain at the forefront of technology by displaying its latest inventions, everything from massive steam engines to the latest cameras. Other nations were invited to participate, and the official name of the show is the Great Exhibition of the Works of Industry of All Nations. What's the Eden Project, Kings? I don't know what that is. Somebody let me know. Yeah, that's cool. The Eden Project. Let's see. The building of house exhibit, which was quickly dubbed the Crystal Palace, was constructed of prefabricated cast iron and panes of plate glass, designed by architect Joseph Patton. The building itself was a marvel. The Crystal Palace was 1,848 feet long, 454 feet wide, and covered 19 acres of London's Hyde Park. Some of the park's stately trees were too big to move, so the enormous building simply enclosed them. That's pretty cool. Nothing like the Crystal Palace had ever been built. Skeptics predicted that wind or vibration would cause the colossal structure to collapse. I like this next part. I already read this. And Prince Albert, exercising his royal privilege, had detachments of soldiers march through the various galleries before the exhibit opened. No panes of glass broke loose as the soldiers marched about in lockstep, so the building was deemed for safe public. He used them as guinea pigs. he sent he sent soldiers in there to march around to see if the building would hold up. What is the Eden Project? Prince Albert, that was very nice of him. But hell up. Kew Gardens is a delight at night. King says. All right. It says crowds flock to see gleaming steam engines designed to be used aboard ships or in factories. The Great Western Railway displayed an entire locomotive. Spacious galleries devoted to manufacturing machines and tools displayed power drills, stamping machines, and a large lathe used to shape the wheels for railroad cars. It's pretty ahead of its time for 1854. I keep forgetting which year it was. 1851. Oh yeah, thanks Terry, appreciate it. Really ahead of its time. You were. I already did read this entire article. It was pretty interesting, but I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. Just what I thought was interesting. So it says Queen Victoria formally opened the Great Exhibition. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert rode in a procession from Buckingham Palace to the Crystal Palace to personally open the Great Exhibition. It was estimated that more than 500,000 spectators watched the royal procession move through the streets of London. That's a lot. 500,000 people just to watch them in the procession. As the royal family stood on the carpeted platform in the center hall of the Crystal Palace, surrounded by dignitaries and foreign ambassadors, Prince Albert read a formal statement about the purpose of the event. The Archbishop of Canterbury then called for God's blessing, and a 600-voice choir sang Handel's Hallelujah Chorus. It says that Queen Victoria was fascinated by the Great Exposition and returned to it repeatedly, usually bringing her children. So according to some accounts, she made 30 trips to the Crystal Palace. Just for that, that's pretty cool. Let's see, hi Terry. I'm trying to read some of your comments. I think they weren't coming through for a minute. The darts is on at the Alexandra Palace now. Oh, darts like the competition. Eden Project is a few giant domed greenhouses full of tropical plants. One has a tropical theme and one has a Mediterranean theme. What is the Kew y'all are talking about? Kew Gardens. You like it too, Michelle? You love Christmas at Kew? Okay, you gotta book months in advance. Okay, very cool, very cool. So at the London Great Exhibition, let's see, I was trying to get to many people. It says the total number of exhibitors was about 17,000, with the United States sending 600. So we got in there. Y'all came up with the first idea to have this fair. Became the World's Fair eventually. But the U.S. was on board to send, well, it says 599 exhibitors. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else came. You had people from India all over the place exhibiting there. Oh, some diamond was there. Queen Victoria loaned one of the world's most famous diamonds. It was described in the exhibit's catalog, the Great Diamond of Runjeet Singh. Hundreds of people stood online each day to view the diamond. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to read some about the items brought from America were also very diverse. Some exhibitors listed in the catalog would become very familiar names. C.H. McCormick, M.B. Brady, S. Hartford Colt, who brought firearms. C. Newt Goodyear, who brought tires. rubber goods. And there were exhibitors from Kentucky, New Jersey, Baltimore, Maryland, South Carolina. Maryland exhibited an ice cream freezer. South Carolina sent a canoe cut out from a cypress tree. New Jersey sent silk plush for hats. Kentucky sent 3-bed quilts. One of the most popular American attractions at the Great Exhibition was the Reaper, manufactured by Cyrus McCormick. The contest was held at an English farm, and the McCormick Reaper outperformed the Reaper manufactured in Britain. It was awarded a medal and was written about in the newspapers. Okay. So it lasted about 6 months. Michelle, there was another big exhibition to celebrate the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. There were other ones close to coronation as far as I can remember. Yeah, I think you've had more, but this is the first one that which spawned all the other World's Fairs throughout the world. Somebody's walking by and like, it's fine when they walk by, but she was just staring at me. Like, maybe she wants to know about the World's Fair. But yeah, this was the big one and the first one. I'm trying to see how many people, because I know I read this already. It says how many people came, but now I can't find it. It says the Crystal Palace later was moved and used for decades. Victorian Britain put out a grand welcome at the Great Exhibition, though there were at first some unwelcome visitors. The Crystal Palace was so enormous that large elm trees of Hyde Park were enclosed within the building. There was concern that sparrows still nesting high up in the enormous trees were soil visitors as well as exhibits. But you moved it. The building was moved to another location at Sydenham, where it was enlarged and transformed into a permanent attraction. It remained in use for 85 years until it was destroyed in a fire in 1936. That's too bad, huh? The only other thing I was trying to get to is how many people attended in total. I know I saw it here. Okay, the official tally of the visitors was an astonishing 6,039,195. 6 million. I mean, that's a lot. Right? Doesn't that seem like a lot? For Britain at that time, 1851. It was a good idea, apparently. Everybody came. And it spawned World's Fairs from 1851 to this day. Like I said, I looked it up. The next one, yeah, 6 million visitors. The next one is in Kyoto, Japan. That is a lot. 6 million? What was the population at the time, I wonder? I mean, I know folks came from other countries, but doesn't that seem like a lot? Is anyone else not astounded by 6 million people come to see? I might not be getting all your comments because I don't see it over here. Or it might be just a boring topic. Kew Gardens' rival is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Those don't exist anymore. So, your rival has been defeated. I'll have to check out this, and I'm probably saying it wrong. Is it Kew? I don't even know. It says that's like 10% of today's population. Back then, that must have been unheard of. That's what I was thinking. 6 million. Now, it doesn't say how many of those came from not Britain, but you got to figure the majority of them were British. So you think there are remnants of the building at Crystal Palace? However, the area is now known for the massive transmitter, which can be seen from out. That's a shame. Blue on Cornwall. I have seen it. Blue in Cornwall. Yeah, I've seen it. I got a reaction to Cornwall. A couple of them. I did see Lou and Truro, I think. churro. I don't know how to say that. So anyway, it was a good idea y'all had. 6 million people came. It seems like a lot. It was a really good idea. I'm not going to read too much about the one in St. Louis. It's just that I lived there. I've been to what's left from that giant exhibition, the World's Fair they had in St. Louis in 1904. So y'all started the idea. There was also a giant one in New York City, but a lot of people say the one in St. Louis was the biggest. It happened on December 1st, or no, April to December in 1904. It was called the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, also known as the St. Louis World's Fair. And just some stats about it, because I don't want to bore you too much with it, but let's see if I can see how many folks came to that. Gosh, there's a lot of information on that. 20,000 or 20 million visitors. So y'all started the idea, 6 million came to yours, but by 1984, 20 million came to the one in St. Louis. Michelle, you did a video about Q, but it didn't go in the gardens. Architecturally, the Q is magnificent. Okay. Is this not the one in Star Trek? I must have missed something. Oh, not the, I don't know, I missed something. Yeah, sometimes I do, and then I'm like, well. So 20 million came to the one in the St. Louis. Like I say, the park is still there. It's huge. They spent a lot of money on it. It's still called Fair Park. But it was a good idea you had. Now, a lot of things about the St. Louis one that claim, okay, to be invented there, or first displayed there, or popularized there. Trying to get to that, I'll tell you about those things, and then, okay, here. Foods was a big deal at the one in St. Louis. So a number of foods are claimed to have been invented at the World's Fair in St. Louis. The most popular claim is that the waffle-style ice cream cone. You've had those, haven't you? Just your standard ice cream cone, the waffle-style one that's like pointy on the bottom. They claim that that was invented in the St. Louis World's Fair. However, popularization, not invention, is widely believed to have taken place. So in other words, it was already invented, but it became popular because so many were sold there at the St. Louis World's Fair. Also, other dubious claims include inventing the hamburger and the hot dog. Not true, but they do claim it. Peanut butter and iced tea were supposedly invented, and cotton candy, or what you call floss, invented at the St. Louis World's Fair. Again, it says popularization is more likely than invention. Dr. Pepper, invented here in Texas, was introduced to a national audience. So it was already here in Texas, but for the first time, they started selling Dr. Pepper outside of Texas. And Annie Fisher received a gold medal for her beaten biscuits, now famous in her hometown of Columbia, Missouri. President William Taft enjoyed her biscuits. And let's see, so that's a big, and then maybe here's some other popular influence. The song Meet Me in St. Louis, if you've ever heard that song, was recorded by many artists, including Billy Murray, and inspired the feature film Meet Me in St. Louis, starring Judy Garland. I love that movie, it's very good. All because of the St. Louis World's Fair. Some of the stuff they exhibited. Let's see. The fair was opened by President Theodore Roosevelt by telegraph, but he didn't. You like Kim Rach, you like me in St. Louis? I do too. I just posted one of my favorite Christmas songs is Judy Garland singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It's from that movie. I love Judy Garland. She's one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of The Wizard of Oz. Ragtime music was popularized at the state fair. Scott Joplin wrote the Cascades specifically for the fair. Anybody a fan of ragtime? Helen Keller was there. She gave a lecture. I'm trying to see if there's any famous British people that were there. Grover Cleveland was there, former president, or maybe he was president at the time. The poet T.S. Eliot was there. I'm looking for anyone in the UK that was there, to be honest. Jack Daniels was there. We talked about him yesterday. Jack Daniels attended the World's Fair in St. Louis. I don't see anybody. I'm sure there were plenty of British folks there, but I don't see any. Geronimo was there. Native American. Anyway, it was big. And the park still exists, and it's still massive. Like I say, that's where in St. Louis, that's where the St. Louis History Museum is. That's where the St. Louis Science Museum is. That's where the St. Louis Cultural Museum is. That's where the St. Louis Zoo is. All in Fair Park, all built for that World's Fair. And it's a massive, massive park. I don't know if that was a good live stream or not. Inspired by my son, though. Richard Sheen, I'm just reading back through some of what you guys are talking about. Twickenham is cool. Is that a city? Is that a place? What is it? Is that a movie? Eel Pie Island? Michelle, you love Judy Garland too. I'm a big fan of Judy. I've seen every Judy Garland movie, even the bad ones. Love Judy Garland. So that's my end of my talk. Like I say, Sage just was rattling off so much information to me yesterday that Grit Blue, that's just not very nice. I don't have time for not nice. You thought it was good, Kim? Yeah, just like I say, unprovoked, Sage was just telling me all about this World's Fair in London, all about the Crystal Palace. He's spouting off facts. I threatened to come in and wake him up in the morning. So I'm just gonna go live and just hover above your bed and say, special guest. Because he gave a lot more information off the top of his head than I just read to you. And then that made me think about the St. Louis World's Fair because I've just been to Fair Park in St. Louis so many times because I lived there for 10 years. Yeah, gang, it's the reason why numpties appear is because I'm streaming in this. I have my camera, I have my phone in this direction. And it makes people see the live stream more, but then people just hop on that don't even know. They just see, oh, somebody's live. They just hop on to get in the comments, go crazy. Ben, yeah, do it. Go wake up Sage. Nah, he'd be mad at me. He'd be mad at me. But I did threaten him. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't really get mad, but he'd be like, don't do that. Just pull the covers over his head. Autumn still is gonna come, but my daughter Autumn, she's, she'll say, yeah, I'll do it, and then she will eventually, but it's hard to nail her down as to when, but at some point we'll get together and she'll join. She'll join my channel for some reactions. She's also a big fan of the UK. She's not camera shy. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm about to be off work this weekend. I won't be working, and it's supposed to be lovely weather this weekend. And so I'm going to go to Fort Worth, and it might take y'all along. You know, did you like yesterday's live stream? You like it when I'm out and about? It's probably better than today's, I would think. Sherwood Forest is cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Kim says, "Oh, lovely." I don't know what's lovely. Oh, you thought it was good, Terry? Do you mean yesterday's live stream? Inga says, "Yeah, Q." I don't know what that means. Sometimes the comments make no sense to me. Kim, I appreciate that you said, "Oh, lovely," but I don't know why. Oh, you're going for the walk. So you like when I get out and about? Terry says yes. Okay, yes, that was good. I think you're saying when I'm out and about, you do like that. Because I am going to go to Fort Worth this weekend. I might take the train. I could take the train over there. I could take y'all to the stockyards, historic Fort Worth stockyards. They do have a cattle drive. Well, what's called the stockyards in Fort Worth is a touristy area that's just south of downtown Fort Worth. Downtown Fort Worth is also pretty cool. But the stockyards is where, so y'all have heard of like cattle drives, right? That's where they would take all the cattle from up north, Montana, where they had the cattle, but they would sell them in Fort Worth. So cattle drives they'd start driving their herds south from Montana all the way to Fort Worth to the stockyards. How far is Fort Lauderdale, Genghis? That's in Florida. It's a long way. It's I don't even know how many miles or hours, but it would take a couple of days to get to Fort Lauderdale. Okay, Ben, you like the walkabouts? Yeah, I'm going to Fort Worth. I could show you downtown Fort Worth. I could show you the train. I could take the train and maybe just go live right close to, because I wouldn't want to do a live stream on the train. But as I get close to my stop in Fort Worth, I could go live. You could see what the trains look like in the U.S. William, you're just mean. Sorry, I had to get rid of William. It's because my phone's in this position, more people see it. And so it's good and it's bad. Some people's life is so sad that what's fun for them is to hop on someone's live stream and insult them. And there's just no reason why. Can I show us the Christmas decorations in your town too? Yeah. I wonder what it would look like if I did a nighttime walk. Might have to test that out. Because there's a neighborhood close by that just is lit up with Christmas decorations. I could probably do that. But maybe I could hop on the train when I get close to Fort Worth, start the live stream. Yeah, never mind, I'm Genghis, but I do delete them. Hop on the live stream when I'm nearby Fort Worth. Yeah, it'd look cool at night, Terry. I'll do a test. See what I can do. Maybe I'll go over there and test what it looks like at night on the live stream. Show y'all some lit up. There's a neighborhood around here that's just full on crazy with lights. Those houses yesterday, most of them had lights on or up, but you can't see them during the day. I could take you to Fort Worth. I was saying the cattle drives, they drove to the stockyards in Fort Worth, thousands of miles. And then there was a market in Fort Worth, and that's where they would sell their cattle. That place, the stockyards, it's called, it still exists. They do walk the longhorns down the street every day, I think at 1 p.m. It's a big tourist attraction. You see all these walking right down those streets there paved with bricks. And because it's a historic area. And they just they just drive the longhorns right down the street, right in front of spectators. I mean, you could almost touch them. You like those houses nearby, Genghis? Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice. Maybe I could go film that if you want to see Fort Worth this weekend. It's supposed to be like 23°C and sunny. It's supposed to be gorgeous. Oh, that's right, Ben. Yeah. I probably can't do a live stream. Well, it's nighttime here. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe I could make a video. Yeah, but that might hurt my channel. I don't know. I'll see. I'll think about something. What about that? You want to see Fort Worth? You want to see like some some longhorn cattle? The stockyards in Fort Worth, they have the old saloons still exist. There are bullet holes in the buildings from shootouts. There's a bunch of like Western wear shops there. A lot of like shops where you can buy saddles, stuff like that. Fort Worth has a big Western theme, basically. They call it Cowtown. I want to see Fort Worth this weekend, I could do that. Or I could take you. Y'all want to see where JFK was shot in Dallas? I could take you there, take you downtown Dallas. You like the Western Kings? Yeah, they used to have shootouts right in the streets in Fort Worth. You like the cowboy stuff, Ben? Yeah, those longhorns, man. It's weird because they just, hey, Neil, they just drive those longhorns right down the street. People are just standing right next to them. There's no, like, fences or anything. They do it every day. At 1 o'clock. Sorry. You can get your picture taken sitting on the longhorn. If you want, you pay for it. You go over there, you pay. You get on the back of a longhorn as if it was a horse. And they take your picture. You know, Neil, I didn't even have time. I've been working so much. I'm not sure your sentence can make sense, but what did you think of it, Neil? So yeah, I could go downtown Dallas, show you the sights there. There's some historic buildings. There's the place where JFK was shot. There's the grassy knoll, if you ever heard of that. There's the building where the assassin was. The school book depository building, it was called back then. Today it's a museum. It was the last game. Well, that's good. Sorry, Kim. Yeah, I was wanting to watch it. I still have it. I could watch it. Y'all kind of just spoiled it for me. But I haven't had time to sit down and watch it. So what do you think would be more fun, Dallas or Fort Worth? Guess I could do both at different times. What should I do first? That's okay, Kim. I still probably am gonna watch at least part of it, but I do want to see it. I still have it where I can watch it. The Man United game was nuts, finished 4-4. Oh, you think the JFK stuff would be great? You remember the tinfoil hat brigade when it comes to JFK? I mean, there's something, I don't know what, I don't know how crazy it, I mean, some of the conspiracies about JFK are just, I don't buy. But the fact that Jack Ruby walked up to Lee Harvey Oswald, who was JFK's assassin, literally walked up to him. The cops were holding Lee Harvey Oswald by the elbow in the garage of the Dallas Police Department, and Jack Ruby just walked straight up and assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. He wasn't going to get away with it. There were cops everywhere. There were photographers everywhere. You could see pictures of it. There's no way Jack Ruby thought he was getting away with that, and he just walked straight up and assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. There's something weird about that. If you try to tell me his motivation was just because he was mad that Lee Harvey Oswald assassinated the president, I don't buy that. His motivation had to be something else. He wanted to keep Lee Harvey Oswald quiet. And plus, I feel like he must have been tipped off, right? I feel like the cops knew it was coming. But I don't know how deep the conspiracy goes. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with the JFK narrative. America's Untold Stories is a channel to watch. But see, some people get that JFK conspiracy to be like, it was the mafia, it was the opposing political parties, it was other nations. I don't know about that. Jigsaw? Just some people. Your life is sad, Jigsaw. I'm sorry to tell you. Sorry, I had to get rid of Jigsaw. Oh, did I? Yeah, some people have a sad life. I know I'm not a good-looking man. That's not news to me. But you don't have to say. You know, your life is just so sad. Hey, Chubby, that's what you want to do, is go around and insult an ugly man like me. I already know I'm ugly. Sorry, truck going by. It's a concrete truck. Give me just a minute, but I'm gonna sign off here. That's super loud. Yeah, I'm torn between having my phone in this position, which attracts more people to the live stream, or the other position, which does not. But yeah, we get a lot of, as Ginga said, numpties. They just log on, I guess, because they're like, man, I just really want to insult somebody today. You watch later, Chuck? Yeah, I'm just signing off. I'm pleading again. I keep pleading. Some of you have done it, some of you have not. Post any Christmas pic on the community. Go to the post that asks for suggestions that you want me to react to. Yeah, Kim, just that they're sad people. It's, you know what I mean? It's just how, that's how they feel. They probably, that's the only way they can feel better about themselves, is to insult other people. I don't know. I feel bad for them, but I also don't appreciate it. Yeah, go to the post I have up on the community that asks for Christmas reaction suggestions, because I need more. And Terry's posted a couple. Post as many as you want, Terry. But yeah, if you got something, there's a Christmas market you want me to react to, go there, post it. Hello, Tremaine. You're from Anderson, Indiana? I've lived in Indiana. I used to live in Fort Wayne. But mostly, this is content directed towards the UK, Tremaine. And yeah, go over there to the community and post, copy a link into a new post about your favorite Christmas songs. I would like for people to be just posting Christmas music all day. That'd be awesome. If y'all can do that, I'd appreciate it. And besides that, I hope everybody has a good day. Except for you, Buck Ladorian. I do not hope you have a good day. So, Choppy, it was good to see you. Kim, it was good to see you. Ben, Michelle, Neil, y'all have a great day. Terry, I'll check out that email you sent me. Uh, Ben, always good to see you. Of course, Genghis, of course. Have a great day. Sometimes I repeat y'all's names. I can't remember which one I just read, but I think that's all that was here today, really. Outside of the knuckleheads that tried to join us for a minute. Oh, Alex left, but I was glad to see Alex here today. He comments a lot. I always enjoy his comments. And yeah, everybody have a great day. I appreciate y'all. And maybe tomorrow I'll try to come up with something a little more interesting than today. But yeah, thanks for joining the live stream. And Wayne from Dallas, Texas, signing out.